So it's the middle of September now. It's time to start carving the pumpkins. You know, I think for the pumpkins, I carve very basic ones. I don't carve any fancy pumpkins. I just make them as basic as I can possibly make them. And they're big sellers. The more rustic looking they are, and the faster you can pump them out, the more money you'll make. Now, I think, in my opinion anyways. Now this is soaking wet willow that was just cut down maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm going to cut up this piece for maybe 3 pumpkins. Now, the length that you cut the pieces, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If you cut your pieces longer, you can give them longer stalks, but I'm not interested in giving these things longer stalks. Longer stalks means more work. So anyways, yeah, this is the time of year if you have wood that you don't like carving. This is the time of year that you carve that wood, get it out of your way. And because, well, just the way it is. Carve the willow. If you have willow, make pumpkins. Just get rid of it. Alright, so this is my jaw horse. Now what I do is I got a board there, I got a board in here. Board here, I screw this board to this board, clamp it in the jaw horse. Then I get the pumpkin stump and I screw it from up underneath, so you got a solid platform to carve. Now, I always like to make sure I'm comfortable when I'm carving. So I can't carve down low, it's hard on my back, so this is perfect right here. I'm going to fire up you can basically carve pumpkins with chainsaws, like you don't need to have the carving bars, but then you're going to struggle when it comes time to carving in the eyes and the nose and stuff, so popping it out. But anyways, I'm going to fire up the Echo 2511 and get all the bark and shit off this tree. Now, whoever says a tree is dead once all the branches are cut off of it and it can't grow any more leaves is full of shit, because look at this. This is a dead piece of wood. Well, it's not dead. It's trying to regrow its friggin' branches, leaves. Now, some of you know the willow that I carved faces in a couple little sticks like this thick. And this big, just cut dead from a willow tree, and I carved the faces and I got roots. I'll show you at the end of this video the one that I got rooting, how big of a little tree it is. And I got more from this tree. I carved it and they're sitting in water and they're rooting already. Anyways. Okay, so what you're gonna see me do is you're gonna see me remove the bark off this stump. Then I drew this on. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm going to do a cut here, then a cut here to remove this whole piece of wood in here. And same with this side. Then I got a little piece here, cut. Then you get a little stalk there. So the deeper that you make this cut in here, pretend my hand's my bar. The deeper that you make this cut in here and cut down here, the more that you take away from here, the bigger of a stalk you're going to have. Same with this side too. So anyways, you don't have to carve in the stalk. You can always shape your pumpkin, then drill a hole with a forester a bit deep in there, get a branch, and then glue a branch in there, and then make it so it's like I don't know, a stalk. Okay, so I got it all blocked out. Now you gotta, this was a little bit high here. I felt unsafe, so you just always be aware that that chain will friggin' cut you. Anyways, it will cut you bad, so just be safe when you're using it and know that it's in your hand and know that it's running at all times. Now, you can see this stock has a little bit of crack up here. I already marked it, so the crack, I know there's a crack that's going to go down there. Let's see here. This is an older steel 170, MS 170. I think it's the new one's the 163, but my clutch kind of blew up on my newer saw, so I got to get that fixed, or new clutch. But this is just a steel carving bar, all right? It's quarter pitch 50 gauge. This chain is loose because there's no sprocket in here for these carving bars. All right, this chain's a little bit too loose. I gotta tighten it up a bit. Now, this is all you need for the very beginning somebody wants to get into chainsaw carving. Get yourself look on Marketplace, the MS 170 or the new MS 163 or 162, whatever it is. Order the steel carving bar. Even if they tell you they don't know anything about it, just say out, and they say it's on back order, just order it. Order the 50 gauge quarter pitch bar, okay? The 50 gauge quarter pitch bar. You need to order the quarter pitch sprocket for inside here too. So quarter pitch sprocket, quarter pitch bar. Now you can get the 50 gauge or the 043 gauge. I say 50 gauge because it's thicker this way. The 043 gauge is really thin. The 043 gauge slices nicer, but I don't know. I just like using the tip of this bar, and it doesn't scoop out wood as good as the thicker chain. Okay, so order this, buy the saw, order the quarter pitch sprocket, order the bar, and you'll order some chain too from Still. And there you go. You're gonna be off carving. So now, damn it, I need to get a pen. So I carved these pumpkins yesterday. They're just sitting out here drying because this is really fuzzy wood. So I can sand them later and finish them. This one, you don't need to carve the faces in your pumpkins, right? You don't have to. This one is not going to have a face. I'm just going to leave this one. I'm just going to carve in the things. Whatever they're called, the pumpkin dents. That's what I call them anyways. Good enough. What I got in there, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all I do is cut down here straight in. I could cut on an angle on one side, then another side, and then round it off. So cut down as deep as you want to cut it. The rounder it's going to look, but it's more cutting. Rounding things off if you want to cut it deeper in there. So let's say I'll cut it about that deep and then round it off, then go over here and round this off with all of them. Then you got to make sure you round it off on the bottom and you round it off on the top. And that's why these carving bars are awesome. They turn in the wood very easy to round things off. Okay, so I'll tighten that chain and I'll just do a couple of these on video. Okay, sorry I get a bit carried away. If you don't, for these carving bars, because there's no sprocket in here, right? This is just hardened steel right there, that tip. If you don't leave your chain loose and your chain's tight, you are gonna melt this tip, or it's gonna blow apart because it's gonna get too hot. So when you're using the carving bars, leave your chains loose. This is a little bit, well, that's almost perfect. Could be a little bit looser, but leave your chains loose when you're using the carving bars. And another thing too that I've realized, when you're carving wet wood, the sharper your chain is, the less fuzziness you're going to get in the wood. You should always have a sharp chain, but I'm seriously, for the wet wood, and I speak for myself and it's just my opinion, the sharper that your chain, if you think your chain's sharp, make it sharper. The less fuzzies you'll have. Some people wonder about oil. This is the oil, this is the bar oil that I use. Just cheap, pure canola oil. Yep, that's all I use for the carving bars. I use this in my Echo Saw with a normal bar too. I use whatever oil I have. If I don't have canola oil and I had friggin' vegetable oil here, I'd friggin' use it. I gotta get some more from the store pretty soon though. Then I gotta get some cat food. You guys gotta see the water pouring out of this wood when I carve it. Look right down here. Okay, so it might be hard to see on film, but all the bumps are carved in. Now they say when you're use the top of the chain, you can smooth everything out. So you're gonna see me go along with the top of the chain and kind of smooth everything out. For the very beginners, the more time that you have that saw in your hand, the better you're gonna get. Yeah. So there you go. I'll give you guys close up. That's now, since it's so wet, I can't say this enough. Put it off to the side for a day or two. Let it dry out. Then you can sand it with your flap sander and call her done. There's no sense even wood burning inside here, you're just going to waste your propane. Let the outside of the wood. They say that, what do they say, that wood dries maybe 1.5 inches a year? There's a formula, you can Google it. But let it dry out. This willow dries super fast. Oops, there's a crack there too. So, like, I like to carve my cracks in the dents, because later on when the pumpkins split, when the wood wants to split, it will split in these cracks. So it kind of hides it. So I'm just going to put this off to the side now. And I got another piece of yellow cedar here that I've been wanting to carve. I don't know. Carve what you want. But like I said, the more time that you have that saw in your hands, the better you're going to get. I could carve some real small pumpkins out of that piece of red cedar I found on the beach. Right here. Some people can't have the bigger pumpkins. Maybe I carve a couple small ones out of this piece. Also, with carving the pumpkins, you get a lot of ankle breaker pieces like this, a bit bigger. So I always have my thing around, so I throw them in there when I'm doing it, so don't break your ankle, snap your ankle, sprain your ankle. Yeah, screw it. I'm going to carve a couple smaller ones. Well, they're going to have bigger stalks. Anyways, and there you go. Just repeat the same thing over, but carve a bigger stalk. I've got this one blocked out, then we'll carve a little face in here. Brought the good old Carving Fusion thermos today. Yeah, as the years go by, this would be the first one my buddy Paul drew for me. With my skull with the hole in the head, the roots coming out, growing into a tree. This would be one Bap from Ireland made me, Carving Fusion. Wood spirits in the trees there. Chainsaw and the red moon. And this is one that I designed. And then this one's upside down, but it's my cup. This is the one Larry Dibbs designed for me. Anyways, gotta have your thermos when you're gonna work hard. You gotta get on there and cut that wood, boy. You gotta keep that chain there sharp, eh? Gotta keep it sharp, eh, boy? Okay, so I got it all blocked out, all the things, and I can take a little bit more off here. So now how do you want to... You can do any kind of pumpkin face you want to do. I just like to do simple ones. So center line, triangle nose, triangle eyes. You can go straight across here like this. Maybe not so close to the nose, you don't want it too thin there. And then I'll just do this type of face with the lines here. Now, somebody just asked me, I think I forget, Byron just asked me, what's the easiest way to do the eyes? Because he's just got a normal carving bar, he's got a normal chainsaw bar. He doesn't have the carving bar with the fine tip. So he has to use his Dremel to carve out the eyes. So, and it takes a long time. So this is a dime tip. So I cut, and I snap it out. Sometimes I've broken a bar doing this. When you got your cut here and there, I've tried to snap it out with my tip of my bar, like ping. I've broken the tip of a bar from doing that when I first started. So sometimes if they don't pop out, get a screwdriver and pop them out. Now, where can I film this? So so I'm not in your guys' way. I think that's pretty good. Remember I said before about using the top of the chain? That's it. Now you can paint in those eyes. You can burn in those eyes. I'm just going to finish this pumpkin up on this video. Now these are basically all you need. This is all the tools you need to get into chainsaw carving, including a Dremel if you want. Your die grinder. This is the Makita. This is the kicking ass David Grass die grinder. This is the DG 800C. This is a Kutzall bit, quarter inch, sorry, to fit in this. Slow down, Jordy. This is the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr, quarter inch to fit inside these die grinders. Now you don't need an expensive die grinder like this to start off. This thing is not cheap die grinder. This is the holy grail of die grinders. My Meatable one needs new bearings in it. You need a flap sander just like this. See, this is a flap sanding disc, woodworking or metalworking. This is like 100 grit, this one, and a torch, any kind of torch head. This one is called the turbo torch. This one's expensive. It goes sideways and this bit goes up and down. This turbo torch throws off the most heat that I found. I got this one from my dad. Anyways, I'm going to put some details in this stock. I don't know if pumpkin stalks stick up this high. Who cares? It's fancy. Carve some details in here. Then I'm going to burn inside the eyes and nose and around these edges. Then I'm going to sand it. And it's done. So here you go. Notice how I just turned that wet pumpkin. Turned it so the sun hits each side of it. Dry it out. There's just a silly little pumpkin. Western red cedar. It's kind of wet. You could paint inside these eyes. I'm not going to paint this one or anything. I think it's good the way it is. Just to show you, like another simple pumpkin. Simple pumpkin. I got this other piece here from this cedar. Sorry. I'm gonna let that other piece dry. I'm gonna carve a happy little wood spirit in here. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Why? Why, you ask, Jordy? Why are you gonna carve a happy little wood spirit, Jordy? is because you can, Jordy. You can carve whatever you want to freaking carve. I want to carve a wood spirit. I'm sick of carving pumpkins already. Hey, just carve Rob, Pumpkin King. Who's the Pumpkin King? Just carve Rob. But first of all, I'm going to have a coffee break. So not everyone's your best one. That's for sure. But trust me, somebody will buy this. Yep, they sure will, for cheap. Now I'm going to pull up the pumpkins and start sanding them. Also, I think I'm going to reburn this face, sand it, and then burn this face and sand it too. Maybe. So these ones have been sitting out in the sun since yesterday. Now, you can do two things. You can paint in here black, or you can burn in here. Now, it's got so many fuzzies in here, I got to burn out those fuzzies. This torch head's garbage. I got another one. Same one, but doesn't give that big. I don't know what's up with it, but anyways. See, recording. Yeah. See how nice it burns? You stick the thing in there for the inside there. Yeah, I got the fuzzies out of there. Ooh, that stinks, that willow. I got some, where the hell did it go? Stand by. I thought I had some fucking black paint. Fuck's sakes, man. Anyways, I don't have any black paint, so it looks like I'm just going to burn them all. That's what happens when you're an amateur. Got no black paint. Anyways, I'm going to burn them all and sand them. Now, I don't have my microphone, but you see I got the front sanded okay. If you want to get sounded really nice, use your orbit sander. That just helps get rid of square edges. Whatever. This is the last pumpkin. I carved this one this morning. It's got no face. Feels a lot drier now. Let me see if I can sand it now and burn it and sand it and call it done. I'm not carving willow ever again. Let's see. Now, I don't care what anybody says. This is my opinion. Willow, okay. Willow, 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 willow. I am damn lucky. I am very lucky I have Western red cedar to carve. By the time I carve this, and this, I could have carved 15 pumpkins out of the red cedar. This, I'm going to cut this shorter. This silly little guy. You could, you know, carve a little, make a little copper leaf in here or something if you wanted to, but I'm going to cut this shorter. It's stupid. I did this to show you guys. I don't know. I've carved lots of wood from around the world from Dremel carving, but for chainsaw carving, this willow has been the worst wood I've carved chainsaw carving, and that's why I did it, to show you guys this is not my best tree. Actually, I don't like this tree at all. But to show you guys, even with this shitty, I don't know, some of you guys might like carving a soaking wet willow where you can see the water pouring out of it when you're carving it. You know, when I was carving it and I could lie under it, I could have a shower that was coming out of the wood. But it's not very good wood to carve, that's for sure. But, you know, all these will sell. I'll sell all these. And who knows, maybe this stuff will look better when it's weathered too. I'm not even going to bother painting those pumpkins. I'm thinking about doing another video on a full 3D tree. The other way I do it, so like the branches are all different. I think this was like the first time I did it like this, actually. The trunk's way too big, don't care. You know, I carved this in about 10 minutes, this little fellow. These things, this one took like 2 hours because all the wood was so wet. And it's not me sitting here complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, if you can find dry wood to carve the dry wood. I think it would be a lot easier. It's kind of funny sitting here. I got all those willow logs. I'm looking at them right now, soaking wet, cut down like a week and a half ago. The farmer and his buddy come by and like, hey, Jordy, because I told him how much I hate carving it. Like, we got some dry willow that we cut down 2 years ago. Maybe it's a lot drier to carve just in the field. Just pop you some logs. Now you tell me. Well, I tried to carve the willow because I want to save my old cedar for nice eagles and owls carvings and stuff. Eagles and owl carvings and stuff like that, and wood spirits and maybe some gnome homes and stuff. Use up the shitty wood when you got it, but was it worth it for me to use the shitty wood? No, it wasn't. It wasn't for me personally. It was for this video because that's the purpose of this video. Carving shitty wet willow wood. Anyways, what more can I say? That hope everybody's getting all their wood inside and dried out because winter's coming. Tap water is going to be cold again. And don't forget about Larry's challenge. The Watcher. I think, no. Yeah, the Watcher. Yeah, he calls them the Watchers. I think the Watchers. Sorry, Larry. I just tired and pissed off. Hope everybody's doing good. Now I got this mess to clean up, which is not too bad today, actually. Look, there's not much mess at all. Hello. And yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna carve any more pumpkins. Carving Fusion. Over and out. If all the wood you have is wet wood, then carve it. Okay? You're going to learn when you're doing things like this. All these carvings are really amateur carvings. They really are. But the more that you practice, the better you're going to get. Look, I haven't gotten any better. Don't shit your pants. Shout out to Larry Debs. Remember, Jedi, the laziest man always has the best ideas. Halloween's not even still a month away from Halloween. Month and a half. They already got Christmas stuff out. Oh boy. Before I forget, here's those willow pieces. Now this one's rooting. This one hasn't rooted yet though, but it's coming. They're coming. Let me show you the tree that's growing. Little fellow. Look at that.